Everybody to the final race of Wednesday night. It is our Tier 4 category from the Shanghai International Circuit in China, 30 miles northwest of central Shanghai. I am the lead commentator, BitW365, also known as Carl, and my co-com is Tier 1's very own Kaiser Soze, also known as Steve Jarman. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing, alright?
Yeah, not too bad. So, the final race of Wednesday night, and it looks like to be a dry session for qualifying. Let me just sort out on the screen. So, first car out will be Abu in the Kick Sauber. So we'll follow the Kick Sauber round whilst I sort out the rest of the on-screen stuff. Fire J has got internet connection issues because he's just left the session. Hopefully he can get back in.
Asking for an invite, anyone that can listen.
Yeah, hopefully the old invite should be able to work unless but then again it's through the email in game should I say. So we've got Abu and I think that's GXD very close together on their out laps, their installation laps, but it looks to be the Sauber will be the first car to start a flying lap. So as I say, we'll stick with Abu for a guide around the Shanghai International Circuit as we enter the 16th and final corner onto the start-finish straight. DRS is open over the start-finish line as we head towards turn 1, 2 and 3, which is like a uphill, then pretty much never ending. It's like uphill and then downhill, like a bit like a screw. And then we enter turn 4, careful of the traction, and then we've got a little kink of turn 5 before a slightly heavy braking zone for turn 6. Yeah, it can go quite deep there if you miss braking points like this. Then it's a sweeping turn 7. And then straight away into another, which is turn 8, which is a sweeping right-hander. Then we have a double or left-hander of 9 and 10. And then we have a bit of a rest for a short straight into turn 11. And then it's a sweeping banked right-hander of turn 12 and then 13. I think Abu has backed off of his lap, but we'll stay with him for the rest of this guide of the lap. So we've just come out of 13. Now it's one of the longest straights on the calendar, the back straight at China. And then a very heavy braking zone for turn 14. Then you got a slight kink of a 15, which goes onto a short straight onto the final corner, which is a left-hander of 16. GXD does a 33.4, but we stayed with Abu, who did back off of his lap to carry on. So that was a lap of Shanghai International Circuit. We've got Delta coming through the middle sector, just coming through turn 8, just coming into the double left-hander of 9 and 10. Looking nice and tidy for the Haas. Bit of a lock-up for turn 11. Just got to be careful of the rear wanting to step out of turns 12. And then it's slightly smoothly through turn 13 as Josh Boy, the championship leader, 33.340, going slightly ahead of GXD for that provisional pole. as we're going to see the end of Delta's lap as he heads towards the final corner of turn 16. Careful of track limits on the exit, and Delta goes P4 with a 33.900 to the 900th of a second there with the 33s, just getting in the 33s. Let's go further down to somebody who's on the lap. So we'll join Maverick in the Aston Martin, who's just going through turn 6. Sorry, just sorting YouTube out on my phone. Good evening, Mark Hodgson. I see you in the YouTube chat. As oh, what you seen? The bit of a ooh there.
Oh no, that was just hello.
Oh, hello. It sounded like a ooh.
No,
yeah,
keep an eye on things, but not much happening at the minute.
No, Maverick's got a tidy lap going so far as he's just come out of turn 13. Now he's got a nice relaxing drag to turn 14. Turn 14. I keep after referring to my track map in my book to know which number we're at, because I forget sometimes. Comes to turn 16, the last corner. Easily within track limits, taking it very cautiously, and does a 37.2. I'm sure medium Maverick's got a bit, medium tyres, so that's no surprise. So, not a bad idea to put a medium tyre installation lap, but with the tyre wear around here, I would have probably not used the mediums in qualifying and just focused on using the soft tyres, because if you're not careful enough, you can really shred your tyres around here, because the recommended lifespan for a medium tyre is, I think the game says 13 laps, and the recommendation for the hard tyre is only 3 laps longer, which is 16. So tyres get an absolute hammering, and obviously the tyre that gets the biggest hammering of all is the front left tyre, with the track being a clockwise circuit, as we've got
so many fast right-handers as well.
The high speed speed corners. You're putting so much load on that front left tyre majority of the time, especially at the banking of 12 and 13, and also the start of the lap in that screw type section. As we're watching the McLaren of Fire J, his teammate Lego Lancer is currently P7 on a 34.8. So where will Fire J put his McLaren as he just gets over track limits out of turn 16? So that has done his lap, and he will not be happy with that.
So it was just
slightly over,
hundredths quicker, putting himself into third.
Yeah, Delta has improved to P3 in the Haas. So up to now, the only driver that's not a higher tier to not set a lap time is Fire J, who unfortunately got a fraction over track limits at the end of his lap. Trying to find people on laps.
Oh no. Couple on outs at the moment of the series.
Yeah, quite a few on out laps. I think Isaac's just come out of turn 13, so he's prepping himself for another run. Currently 4th. The top 4 all in the 33s, where it's mere fraction.
Josh has just started his last flyer on this set of tyres.
Yeah, we're going to follow Isaac, who's a fraction off of Delta's improved time. So Isaac will cross the line now to start another goal as he heads into turn 1. You're putting a lot of load on that front left tyre as you're going through, because it's such a high speed entry, and then as you're making your way through into turn 2, you're slowly bringing the speed down, as well as your gears to roughly about third or second gear in that. And because it's such a low speed exit at 3, you got to be so careful of your rear wanting to come out on acceleration, bit like the turn 12, the start of the banking towards the end of the the start of the third sector. So there's a few places where the rear will want to overtake the front.
I've got to say, if Josh gets around this last turn in, he's going to get himself into the
We'll quickly jump to the provisional pole sitter of Josh Boy, the Williams, and it's a 32.5.
7/10 faster than his best previous.
So we've got a first lap into the 32s. Josh Boy stomping his authority on this qualifying session, as well as the Tier 4 category in general, as Isaac improves to P3 with a 33.521. So he's took P3 back off of Delta.
I didn't see the Delta split for Connor, but he's just coming down the last bit of the back straight now.
Yeah. See if he can get any closer to his teammate. Turn 16, easily in track limits. And he does, he improves to P4, so Delta has dropped 2 places since improving his lap time. So he's lost 3rd place to Isaac, and now he's just lost P4 to Connor. So Williams are 1st and 4th. So Williams on the first 2 rows. So it's looking a very good session for Williams at this stage. We'll follow the Ferrari of Lil. Who's a second down, so I believe they're not on a flying lap right now. So we'll catch Blurred at the end of his. He's going into the pit, so he's not happy with that. Got Fire J back out on track as well, trying to get a lap time on the board.
Got limited Abbey 14th at the moment. It's just started a lap.
So we'll jump on board with the kick Sauber of Abu.
Wide at the hairpin.
Yeah, look to go a bit deep. McLaren staying out of the way. I believe that'll be Fire J, I reckon, because the other McLaren of Lego Lancer, who's currently P10, is still remaining in the pit, so that would have been Fire J. There's a Red Bull right behind the kick Sauber, and I believe that is probably Man or Owen J, because they're both on outlaps at the moment. But we'll see how Abu can finish his lap. Doesn't seem to be really attacking, so I believe he's backed off.
I was going to say, it's odd to be weaving down the straight. You want to keep it in the straight.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that, because you'll be scrubbing your tyres and putting too much friction. Invalidated at the final corner, turned in too early. Although he was 4 seconds up.
Yeah, but he's currently 11 down from 13th.
Yeah.
So I think he must have had issues on that first run.
We'll jump up to P2. GXD coming to the end, but it's not going to count. Would have been a 36.2, so he backed off of that, so I believe he's going again. So we'll stick with the Alpine of GXD to see if he's on another attempt after invalidating the lap prior. We'll see when he crosses the delta for sector 1. He's a 10th down at the moment, so will he bail or will he...
Throttle down so quick. Coming out of corners, I'm just watching the inputs. The incredible setup he's got. He's getting that throttle down so quick out of those corners. No loss of traction or anything.
A few cars slower in front. The Sauber quickly darting out the way. He's 51 thousandths up out of sector 2, getting a slight tow from the Sauber, but the Sauber luckily getting out the way in time and not impeding GXD, as he's now got a nice time to think and for his break point for turn 14 with the long straight. Nails his braking point. Looks nice and tidy as well through the hairpin and also through turn 15. Now he's just got turn 16. Keeps it in limits, uses as much track as possible, and he improves by 0.3 to a 33.151, remaining on that front row, getting a fraction closer to Josh Boy. But at the moment, Josh Boy is currently on pole by at least 6 to 7 tenths, which around here is huge.
That was a big lap. He's going to go for a last ditch now. Is it all out? See if he can knock another few tenths off that 32.5.
Yeah, watching Delta as he's in sector 1. He's up by 50 thousandths with a bit of a lock up into turn 6. So he's in full attack mode as we're into the last minute of qualifying. So these will be everyone's last ditch efforts. The other Haas of GTS is slightly ahead, so I wonder if he's timed it and he's going to give Delta a bit of a tow down this back straight, because he's in a safe distance that he's not going to create too much dirty air for Delta, and Delta's going to be getting such a nice tow down towards turn 14. So we'll see if that little tow from GTS has helped Delta to get any higher. Nice and tidy through turn 16 as well. He goes to the line and it's a 33.240. He's improved by half a second.
Ooh.
So that tow must have definitely helped. So that's great teamwork from the Haas pairing of Delta and GTS. GTS, the higher tier driver, helping a fellow teammate. As we have a gaggle of cars down the back straight towards turn 14, with current provisional pole sitter Josh Boy right at the back, as both the cars take the deep line of the hairpin to let Josh Boy through. Let's see what he does at the end of this. Goes to the line and it's a 32.512. 57 thousandths improvement to pretty much nail his name on that front row. GXD is invalidated on his lap, so that is that. And the Delta, I don't think, is on another lap, and we've got Blurred Magic heading in as well. So I think that is qualifying. So Josh Boy takes a convincing pole position for tier 4, with about 5 or I think 5-6 tenths between first and second. So that's a monster lap from Josh Boy. The only one to get in the 32s, a mid 32. It's looking good for Williams as well, because both Williams in that top 5. So if Williams can convert, they could be in for some decent points here in China. They are leading the constructors, is Williams, but we'll run through that during the interval between qualifying and race. And we'll briefly run through the order for the Tier 4 Chinese Grand Prix. It is Josh Boy on pole with a mega lap, 32.512, taking pole by 0.6 of a second from GXD. Delta is third, Isaac fourth, Connor is fifth, Armar sixth, Smoggy Ghost in seventh, Nels is eighth, Airways is ninth, Man rounds out the top 10. Lil 11th, Legolancer 12th, Blurred Magic 13th, Owen J 14th, Fire J is 15th, Maverick 16th, Abu 17th, and rounding off the grid in 18th. And our last runner this evening is GTS. But seen some great partnership from GTS and Delta towards the end of that session, because as we saw, GTS giving a nice handy tow to Delta, which improved his lap massively, and it looks rather overclassed for the start of this one. Not as bright as it was for qualifying, but a dry start nonetheless. We had some rain in Tier 3 earlier on. I believe it started dry, but then it went to intermediate conditions. So it looks to be a dry start for this one in Tier 4. Quick mention of... I mentioned the drivers and the constructors. I said that Josh Boy is leading the Drivers' Championship and Williams are leading the constructors. Sternberg is second in the drivers, but he is not racing, so Josh Boy is looking to be in a very, very promising position to extend his lead in the championship even further. Williams' closest challengers in the constructors is Mercedes. They're the top two in the constructors. So, still early stages in the championship. This is round 5 of, I believe, 14 this season.
13 or 14, I can't quite remember.
One of the two. It's either 13 or 14, because we only had 10 races last season, so we had
14.
So we've got 14 this season, so it is so still early days. Plenty of races this season. I think it's one of our longest seasons we've had, because we tend to have about 12 races a season, but for this season we've got 14, so it's one of our longest calendars we've had.
I think it followed on from possibly one of our shortest calendars as well.
Yeah, because we had last season was only 10 races, and we're rounding off the rest of the 2025 calendar with the remaining 14 races this season. I mentioned at the start of the stream that the Shanghai International Circuit is 30 miles northwest of central Shanghai. The first race was held here back on the 26th of September 2004, which was won by the one and only Michael Schumacher, who also took his 91st and last race win in China as well, back in 2006. China was where Nico Rosberg got his first win, and Mercedes his first win since they returned to Formula One back in 2010. Rosberg winning I believe it was the 2012 Chinese Grand Prix. So that was his first win in the silver Mercedes, and like I say, Mercedes' first win since coming back to Formula One. Heartbreak came of Lewis Hamilton here in 2007. I believe which is what cost him the World Championship when he came in to make a pit stop, and it's not gravel there now, it's tarmac, but back then in 2007 they had a gravel track on the outside of the entry into the pit lane, and sadly for Hamilton he ended up getting beached, which set him back late in that season. China used to tend to be rather late in the calendar. It's now towards the front of the calendar because I think Shanghai this year was the second race in the championship after Australia.
Down the old carbon footprint, aren't they?
It may not be a overall Grand Prix win, but as we know from this year, Lewis Hamilton took a, in quotation marks, win for his first season in the Ferrari. It was a sprint race win, so not a full Grand Prix win, but it was promising. But things don't seem to be working so well for Ferrari.
No.
Daniel Ricciardo won here a few years ago as well. With I believe that year we had an incident at the turn 14 hairpin when Max went for an audacious move, but made contact with the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, as Josh Boy will get the formation lap underway. So we're getting set for 28 laps of Shanghai, a total race distance of 94.779 miles, because that's half the distance of the 100%. They'll be making their way around on this formation lap, a total of 3.387 miles. You can see the track, the tyre strategies there. It's either a medium hard or a medium hard, so my guess is Josh Boy's gone for the harder allocation, which is the safest bet. You can risk
bet in this game, to be honest, at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of tracks seem to be more heading towards the harder allocation because of how the tyre wear is set. And on the topic of tyres, we'll have a look at what people are starting on. And it's almost a 50-50 split for tyres. We've got the top 5 all on mediums. Armar, the first hard tyre runner in P6, who's also a higher tier driver. So Armar, Nels, Airways, GTS will be making stops at the end of lap 1 by the higher tier rules. Smoggy Ghost on the hards. We also have Man on the hards as well. Blurred Magic starting on hards. Also Fire J, Maverick and Abu. But yeah, it's almost a 50-50 split between tyres. But it's alright deciding what tyre to start on. But the key decision is whether you go for the balanced, which gives you 2 mediums, or the harder allocation, which obviously gives you the 2 sets of hard tyres. As Isaac slightly missed his grid spot, we'll get the position change up for the first lap here at Shanghai to see how people do on the opening lap as we're getting ready for the 5 red lights. We've got a bit of an angle there for GXD as we have 5 red lights. And we're racing in China for Tier 4. Both the front 2 had a good launch, but it's GXD who has the inside and the lead. Don't want to be making contact like Danny Kvyat and Sebastian Vettel, and I believe Kimi Räikkönen a couple of years ago, having a bit of a ping pong moment at turns 1 and 2, but it is GXD that leads with Josh Boy down to second. We have a yellow flag further back, a Ferrari, I believe that is Armar letting everybody through, so he's dropped to the back. Armar being sportsmanship as ever for a higher tier driver, but it's looking to be really slow. So I wonder if he's got damage actually. No, he's not, he's just going very slow. But as at the moment, the biggest gainer is Owen J. He's up 8 places into 6th place on this opening lap so far. So he's the biggest gainer. The biggest loser, dropping all the way to the back, is Armar Red. But GXD with the ideal start, and he's already broken the 1 second barrier to Josh Boy, so he's really putting the hammer down on this opening lap. But Josh Boy having to get it back in. So we will have DRS activated at the end of this lap, because it's only 1 lap we have to wait, not 2. So we do have DRS now at the start of this lap. We will not have it until the back straight from turn 13 to turn 14. The higher tier drivers are in for pit stops, and I believe Man is in for possibly repairs as well. But it is GXD that controlling the pace early stages on this second lap. He's got that, trying to break that 1 second to Josh Boy. Delta dropping back a little bit from the front too, and he's got Connor and Isaac all in his rear views.
I've got to say, Owen behind Isaac, reeling them in, and he's made up 8 places.
Yeah, Owen with the best start of the grid, as you say, making 8 places from his grid position, and he's gradually reeling in, but he has dropped back a little bit from the battle of Delta, Connor and Isaac. So we'll jump to Connor, who is at the front of this in the middle of this 3-way. He's got DRS on Delta, not close enough to make a move into turn 14, so he sits behind the Haas. If he gets a good exit from turn 16, he may be able to get a good run and hopefully think about making a move into turn 1, but it's a bit of a short run to the first corner. You can do it if you get a massive toe, but because of the high-speed nature of turn 1 as well, you've got to be very careful when going into it. So Connor remains put in 4th place, keeping his eyes fixated on the rear of Delta's Haas, but he's got to keep his wits about him, with Isaac being not too far behind in the racing ball. But the top 5 have absolutely dropped Owen J. He's now 3.8 seconds after being within 1.4 or so. So the front 5 have just absolutely gone in this opening 3 laps. And Josh Boy is very close to the back of GXD, so he's really putting the pressure on the race leader as of this moment. So he will have DRS, but Delta right up behind the Williams through the Yansing banking. Everybody behind GXD will have DRS. Is Josh Boy going to be close enough towards turn 14? He goes to the inside, braking for turn 14. He's got the inside of GXD. GXD trying to hold it round the outside. And I think Delta's trying to follow him through as well, but not quite got the room to do so. But Josh retakes the lead from GXD. So the
top end speed.
Yeah, the top 5 back as you are. GXD trying to have a sweep around the outside of turn 1. Brave stuff, but which then becomes the inside for turn 3. That is tidy as you like, but Josh struggling for traction, and Delta trying to have a look up turn 3. These top 5 putting on a proper show in these early stages. GXD going a bit deep into turn 6, and Josh tried to have a little look on the inside, but the door was slammed shut in his face. And GXD now trying to open up a gap a little bit. Oh, bit of a sketchy moment for Delta, slightly behind, which is
Connor.
Yeah, Connor's seen that, and he's really wants to take advantage of it. His Blurred Magic is the first driver to fall foul of track limit warnings. Is that the first of many? As we head back.
Track.
Yeah, as with Josh is too far back to make any headway on GXD into turn 14, so he's just got to stay put. As Delta and Connor pretty much near enough pushing Josh Boy round that of coming out of turn 15. Isaac is dropping off from the top 4 now, so I believe his tyres are starting to really start to feel it, because the medium tyres will start to lose their performance grip about now if you're not looking after them, because if you're doing a 2-stop around here, I believe it's a... Oh, Josh Boy going for an audacious Daniel Ricciardo dive into turn 6. Not quite able to get it done, and now Delta's having a little look on the inside, side by side. He's got the move done, but Josh Boy going to have the inside though, but the Haas is up to second. That was an audacious Daniel Ricciardo-esque dive by Josh Boy into turn 6, but he's fell down to P3, and now he's coming under a little bit of pressure from his teammate. Goes a bit deep.
Yeah, breaks himself there.
Yeah, he's always Abu has retired in the pits. That is 1 down, 17 left running. But GXD really going aggressively, trying to break the toe. Be careful, you can't do too many defensive moves. It is 1 move to defend, and that is it. If you make more than 1 move, especially for defending, you can get penalised for it. As we have the 2 Williams scrapping on the exit of turn 15. But with the Williams... Yeah, with the Williams 2 tripping up each other, it's allowing GXD and Delta, as Delta's having a look on the inside of turn 1 and makes a clean move down the inside of turn 1. We have yellow flags for the retired Abu Salbot, which is parking up on the exit of turn 3. But despite Delta and GXD getting a bit of a gap to Josh Boy, it is now reeled back in again, so... The top 5 all together again. Smoggy Ghost at the moment, best of the rest. He's now ahead of Owen James in 6th place. He is on the hard tyre, so he's going for a long first stint. So he'll be benefiting more of tyre grip than those on the mediums at this stage. But he has got a nearly, 5.5 second gap to the top 4, because they're all within a DRS train of each other. So they're all pretty much all getting a nice tow from Delta. So ain't Delta being a good chap and towing them along round China.
Yeah, these 4 or 5 not giving out on each other at all, are they? Smoggy's not got a chance, unfortunately, of catching them at this point, really. Yeah,
GXD looking on the inside of turn 14 like I think Josh Boy did a few laps ago, but Delta with a good defence was able to get better traction out of 14 towards 15. Oh, I bet that's a warning for GXD going over the white painted line on the exit of 16, so I believe that would have been a warning for GXD, as Josh Boy trying to go around the outside a bit like GXD did to him a few laps ago. It'll be the inside for Josh Boy. Now it's just a traction race at turn. Oh, very close. almost banging wheels, and it's side by side through turn 5 as we go into braking a turn 6 as GXD brakes later. A beautiful cutback from Josh Boy. That was absolutely audacious. A beautiful switchback to take second place, but that's allowed Delta to have a bit of breathing space.
You watch the gap dissipate when they get on the straight.
Yes.
He must have 0.0 wings or something because his straight line speed is ridiculous.
Well, it's 1.2, so he's not going to have DRS as this stage, so he's going to be under pressure from GXD in the Alpine. So Delta with a bit of a breather now, but as you say, that is already below a second now, because despite not having DRS...
half a second.
Yeah,
taken like 6-7 tenths off.
It's the slipstream. Sometimes you don't need DRS down that back straight here at China. You can usually get away with it with just the slipstream because it's quite strong. But so it's as we are again with the top 5 close together, who now have a 6-second gap to Smoggy Ghost, who's pretty much in no man's land at the moment because he's got almost 7. Well, he's got a 7-second lead over Owen J now, who's still having a quiet race. He had a great start earlier on. He's got Lego Lancer for company as we look at some of the drivers lower down. I know we're pretty much looking at moving away from the battle for the top 5, but I think it's fair if drivers further down get a bit of airtime. But Lego Lancer trying to get within that second of Owen J. So hopefully he can stay with. He keeps dropping out of it, so hopefully he can get in it before the detection point. But we will jump back to the front briefly as Delta has a 1-second gap. And it's still anyone's with the top 5. No one close enough to make any headway though. So Delta controlling out front relatively well. But Josh Boy, lock up by Delta. There is contact. Contact between the front two. Josh Boy both tried to outbrake each other for turn 14. And there was a bit of contact. There doesn't seem to be any damage on that Williams though, which is lucky for Josh Boy. But Delta with a lock-up into turn 14, trying to outbrake Josh Boy, who had such a tow with the DRS and slipstream.
That was insane.
Ooh! Almost a little tap from GXD at the back of Josh Boy, but Connor dropping back a little bit from the front 3 now, as I think GXD made a little move for turn 6. But nothing done of it. A little check up further down as Lego Lancer still behind Owen J, but not too far.
Blurred Magic could make
Blurred Magic on.
Is it? Am I looking at that? Is that Lily the Grill?
I believe that's how you pronounce it, but as we have Blurred Magic sweeping round Maverick. GXD with 3 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That was, I think, a missed braking point, but really overshot the corner there.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him late into this race, but with Josh Boy and GXD scrapping as hard as they are for second and third, Delta's just sat there in front thinking, yeah, you two just scrap. You're doing me a favour. As there's a bit of a lock-up from the Haas. Josh Boy going slightly deep. Ooh!
Yeah.
Traction battle for Delta, as you've seen the Haas sliding out of turn 14. As GXD is pitting, so lap 10 could be looking at the 2-stop. But maybe might be able to make it work with the 1-stop, but it's going to be quite an ask on those hard tyres. So yeah, it's I believe that's Isaac in as well. He's on hard tyres. He's pitted in on the end of lap 9 and to lap 10. And we'll wonder if Josh Boy can reel in Delta now without the added pressure of GXD. It's currently Haas with Williams second and third, so it's still looking like a very good result for Williams 10 laps in, as they look to extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship.
I think Nels is getting a little bit close to GTS.
Yeah, he's right up behind GTS in this middle sector. Haas versus Racing Bull. They have got the recently pitted hard shot GXD behind, so he's going to be really feisty. Oh, skittish there for Nels. Really fighting for grip on those hards at this stage. And you'll probably see the difference in grip for GXD, who's recently just pitted for... Oh, again, the back end wanted to overstep the front.
Not liking that at all, is it?
No, but you can see the difference in grip as GXD was able to take a cleaner, tighter line. He's hooked up behind the Racing Bull, and I believe Nels has let GXD go. He's locked up. Lego Lancer has gotten past Maverick, so the McLaren up to P6, and Delta and Josh Boy are in, so the front two have pitted. And it's a front nose for Josh Boy as well, so there must have been a slight bit of damage for the Williams, so that's going to fall him way back. So I don't know if he's having a nosebleed right now, but Connor is currently leading this race.
Don't say anything too much.
But Smoggy goes quietly plucking away now in second.
GXD's picking them off like flies at the moment. I got to say,
yeah, dealt
like 3 or 4 positions in 3 or 4 corners.
GTS has let GXD and Delta go. Delta's hard tyre is going to be 1 lap fresher than GXD, but with having the front wing change of Josh Boy, it's pretty much put him out of sync compared to everybody else. He is all over the back of the McLaren of Fire J's. They're going side by side. He's going to have a look on the inside. He gets the move done. Fire J yet to pit, I believe. So that's Josh Boy on his recovery drive after having his nose. Oh, as Connor's got 3 seconds. I believe that was on the entry into the pit lane, which is easily done. Because where that... Yeah, Smoggy in as well. He's on hard tyres, so that will hand the lead back to Delta.
He's been putting in some blinding times.
Yeah, since putting those fresh hards on, he's been putting the hammer down. So, a few drivers yet to make the pits, especially those on the hard tyres, but we'll see who decides to take, who was on the hard tyres now, will take them, try and take them to the end, but those that have gone from the hards to the mediums will most likely have to make another stop, because I don't think the mediums will be able to get to the end from here. Yeah, especially when the recommended lifespan for the mediums round here is only 13. So trying to take them that far is a...
Sorry, I thought I saw something on the Discord chat the other night about someone's tyres, one of their front left I think, blew out, and it was like 12 laps on them, and it was 100%.
Yeah, you got to really nurture the tyres round here if you want to make the 1 stop. The safest bet is the 2 stop around here, definitely, and if you want to be safer than anything, harder allocation's the way to go, as GXD makes a move on the inside of 14 as Delta holding the wide line, trying to defend on the outside, doesn't quite get it, but he will have DRS on the way down to turn 1. So will he reclaim the lead? He's tucked up right behind the Alfie. Oh, that was a bit of a late move, near enough. Oh, but there was contact as well. There was a clip there as
Josh Boy's just done a bit of a...
I believe Delta's let GXD back through after that slight knock into turn 1, but the entry into turn 1, it looked like a bit of a late move by GXD a little bit, because Delta was almost alongside GXD before GXD made his slight jink to the what would be his left hand side on the entry to turn 1, but there was slight contact through turn 1 for the front 2, and Delta thinking it's best to relinquish the place back to not impede any possible steward inquiries. But he is back within DRS again, so he'll be looking to attack GXD on the way down to turn 14. We'll see the flap open on that Haas. There it is. But is he close enough? The closing speed is ridiculous down this straight if you got DRS in the toe as he moves to the inside. As there's contact between the two into the hairpin. I can't see any damage on either car, but Delta's back into the lead. Both of them, I believe, just within track limits on the exit at 16, but it is getting rather dicey between these front two as GXD goes down the inside. Oh, almost contact.
Too much curb there.
Yeah, the curb unsettled him, but further back, Isaac scrapping with Connor. He's got the inside for turn 3, and that is the Racing Bull up into 3rd place. Connor down to 4th. So we've got 2 mega scraps at the moment for the podium positions. We've got Delta and GXD further up the road for the top 2 position on the podium, and then 5 seconds back we have a decent scrap between the Racing Bull of Isaac and the Williams of Connor, and slowly making his way back after his slow pit stop for his new front wing in P5 is Josh Boy, who has
that time.
GTS all over his diffuser, with Nels not too far behind the Haas.
Oh, GTS just lost his rear there.
Yeah, we'll jump to the front as GXD is in DRS of Delta. A easy move on the inside. Again, Delta trying to hold it round the outside. The rear wanted to overstep the front, but he held it, he collected it, saved it from spinning, and that's GXD back into the lead again. But Delta with DRS as GXD goes defensive early, and Delta just sweeps by into the entry of turn 1 as Connor and Isaac trade places again as Connor moves up into 3rd place with a DRS assisted move into turn 1. So we've got 2 highly decent clean scraps out front for the top 4 positions. We have, as I say, Delta and GXD scrapping over the race win, and Connor and Isaac in a duel for the remaining podium place.
Just after that halfway point, there's a couple more penalties just popped up recently. So
yeah, we'll have a look at penalties later on, but there's quite a few of them, 5 in total. The most crucial ones are GXD and Connor in 2nd and 3rd, because as we know, GXD in the battle for the race win as he moves to the inside heading towards turn 14. Makes the move as Delta trying to get a bit of a switchback, but again it's a traction fight between the two. GXD back in front But Delta right up behind the Alpine yet again, with DRS going towards turn 1. Has a little look on the inside, sweeps through on the inside as Connor's picked up another 3 seconds. So Connor is on 6. So that is really going to hurt him towards the end of this one. GTS pits and Owen J has 3 seconds. But Connor really on the back foot now with 3 seconds, with a total of 6 seconds with the 2-3 seconds that he's got. So at the moment, if the race was to end, like just for example, if we had a red flag situation and that was it, race over, Connor would drop places to both Isaac and his teammate Josh Boy. He will be safe from Smoggy Ghost, because Smoggy Ghost is 8.7 seconds behind Josh Boy. Smoggy Ghost having a nice, tidy, quiet race. Yes, he's been on his lonesome for most of the race, but as long as you're not in any trouble, you can't pick up any penalties or make any contact. So it's a nice, tidy race. And Maverick as well, it's looking very good for Aston Martin in 6 and 7. So it's a good, cohesive unit there for Aston Martin, both inside the top 10 at this stage, as I believe Delta's back past GXD. He is, and GXD with DRS now into turn 1. Are they going to trade places again into turn 1? Yes they are, as GXD goes down the inside of Delta into turn 1. These front two at turn 1 have almost pretty much been to me to you, to me to you, to me to you, to me to you. It's like anything you can do, I can do better. As we had earlier, we had some audacious attempts around the outside as Owen J picks up another 3 seconds. But despite GXD having the race lead, he is carrying that 3 seconds. I believe we've got 10, 11 or 12 laps left to go. We're on lap 17 of 28. We'll drop down to see how people are getting on further down. We've got a 3-way scrap for 9th, 10th and 11th. We've got the Ferrari of Lille just ahead of the Sauber of Blurred Magic, with Owen J just slightly behind, and then the Haas of GTS also there. So a 4-way battle from P9 down to P12, as again we've had a change for the lead, and Isaac is also, he's having a look on the outside of Connor. Connor gets the place back, so Connor remains in 3rd. Isaac stays 4th, and again Delta made the move into the hairpin of 14, but GXD sweeps round the inside of turn 1 again. I wonder if one of them is going to think, right, I'm making the move into the hairpin of 14, but I'm getting repassed into turn 1. Maybe it's worth sitting back and getting the DRS on the towards turn 1, and then possibly doing it that way, because it's a pass and repass at the moment between the front two.
You keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results. You've got to either that or take a different line into turn 1 and try and cover off the inside whilst not leaving yourself too tight.
Yeah, Fire J has now joined the penalty club. Smoggy Ghost still here, quite tired. He's got the recently brought out Oliver Behrman helmet, because we've recently had 2 challenges. We've recently had one drop today, where you can win the Haas livery from Japan with the Blossom pink. And speaking of Haas, Delta's back through, but Are we going to have a carbon copy of a lap before? Because GXD with DRS, he's already looking on the inside, and yep, a carbon copy of the lap before. It's you pass me, I can get you straight back. So it's a stalemate between the front two, but Delta's not going to be too agitated about this because he can see that he'll see that GXD has got 3 seconds, so it's pretty much in Delta's ballpark with no penalties as of this stage, and it's the same for the battle for P3 as well because Connor carrying, I believe it's 6 seconds because obviously 3 and 3 makes 6. Woohoo! I can do maths. He's pretty much on the back foot with the battle with Isaac. So Isaac, even if they're in a stalemate as well, he's in the same vote as Delta. Even though he's stuck behind Connor, he's not going to be too fussed about it because once
second, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah. No. Isaac is way off of GXD's 3 seconds, so but Isaac almost going into the back of Connor with the overspeed, but Connor keeps 3rd place. We'll jump back to the front two as they're both in. Both leaders are in on the exact same lap, so they've gone for the 2-stop. So Connor will inherit the lead. So Josh Boy not too far behind. He's been quietly working his way back up as Smoggy Ghost has also pitted. But the battle between GXD and Delta is far from over. We have GXD on a fresh set of mediums and also Delta, so both have pretty much been a mirror of one another. Both started on the mediums, going to the hards, and now back to a set of mediums for the remaining 9 laps. The mediums can do that, but they won't be feeling the very best towards the end, so they don't want to be
too bad.
Yeah,
fuel now on the car.
Yeah, they're light fuel, and but I don't think you want to be taking too much out of the tyres at the start of the stint either, because you can take too much out of them and pay the price towards the end. Blurred Magic with 3 seconds. We jump to what is actually at the moment the battle for the lead. Connor and Isaac with Josh Boy slightly behind. So at the moment it is Williams, Racing Bull Williams. Connor's ducked into the pits.
Ooh. Right, there was just some contact between GXD there and Delta.
It's been a proper grudge match between these two tonight. It's been like a heavyweight boxing match between GXD and Delta, because they've been matching each other blow for blow throughout this race, and there has been the odd bit of contact between the two. It's not been really severe, but they've really...
Looked like a racing incident to me.
Yeah.
He got past, and as he got past, I don't know if the other car saw him, and he just sort of moved out on the line to take the corner, but they then both went straight.
But yeah, those two have been in quite a heavyweight clash in their own fight, which has pretty much been from lights out to lap 21. But it is Isaac who's leading away. The back end wanting to step out a little bit on these used hard tyres. He's got breathing space to Josh Boy. They're both, I believe, on the same life of tyre. I don't want to bring the tyres up, because if anyone's watching and giving feedback to any of the drivers, they could get a, how do I put it, a a psychological advantage. So we'll keep that bit of information to a minimum as the front two are in. So I believe it'll be GXD retaking the lead now with Isaac and Josh Boy in the pit. So ding ding round, I've lost count between GXD and Delta as we're on lap 22 of 28. Armour in third there, just going through turn 3 briefly in the Ferrari, the higher tier driver. They will have, I believe they've have to make a total of 3 stops with the rule in, I believe.
I think so. One
yeah.
before the end. Josh,
because I believe there's 2 different sets of rules for the higher tiers, because you have a set of rules for dry and then a set of rules for the wet. But oh, GXD getting a bit. Oh, now we're on level pegging. Delta's just picked up 3 sections, 3 seconds, getting a bit tongue-tied. So it is now game on.
And Armour essentially is, like I say, no one they need to be concerned about as far as their race goes. It's going to be a calculation on whoever's part now to figure out who's going to be in that position at the end of the penultimate lap.
Yeah, as GXD goes defensive, Delta slides on through, and then it's a traction race.
Eased off a bit there to let Delta through. I'm not too
Yeah, he's
sure
probably playing a bit of games there to get DRS towards turn 1. So that's maybe what it comes to at the end of the day. It's going to be mind games that may settle this one between the front two. They've been bashing chunks out of each other metaphorically throughout this race, giving each other haymakers. Whether it's a move into turn 14 and an overtake or retaking the place back into turn 1, you've hardly been able to separate these two throughout this race. It's been blow for blow, lap for lap, like for like.
Yeah, it's probably been, like I say, barely half a second between them for majority of the race.
And it's pretty much in the script that this could end up going down to the very last lap of the race. So could we see fireworks in the closing stages? Because these two have, as I say, been matching each other lap by lap. And pretty much been the class of the field, in my opinion, tonight. They've, I mean, Josh Boy was easily the absolute star of qualifying with that mega lap of 32.5 to take pole by a significant margin. But Delta getting a bit squirrely out of 15.
GXD might have just
again
the breather he needs.
Yeah, a bit of breathing space for GXD.
Maintain the 6th temp, so yeah, Delta didn't get any advantage then.
GTS with picking up penalties, so we'll have a look at penalties now that we're coming into the closing stages of this race. So there you go, the front two. It's all square out front, both drivers with 3 seconds, so the battle will be for track position overall and the race win overall. Connor in 4th is carrying 6 seconds, so as it stands he will drop behind both Isaac and his teammate. We have GTS who's carrying 3 seconds. They're in 7th, whilst in a scrap with the Racing Bull of Nels. We have Owen J in 11th, carrying 12 seconds of penalties, with Lego Lancer not too far behind in the McLaren, who's also carrying his own baggage of 3 seconds. And then the last two carrying penalties are 14th place Blurred Magic with 6 seconds to his name, And then the second McLaren of Fire J down in 15th with his own baggage of 3 seconds, as we have a change for the lead yet again at turn 14. So
no, that's actually GXD managed to get like a 7/10 gap before the final back straight and maintain that just about.
Okay.
So Delta was trying to make the move, but GTS managed to actually hold him off for an entire lap and go around turn 1 in the same position as he was the lap before. That's the first time that's happened.
Oh, Josh Boy has got past Isaac now. I wonder if we'll have a bit of possible teamwork here from Williams, because Connor is carrying 6 seconds. I wonder if he will probably try and lift off and let Josh Boy through and then become like a barrier for Josh Boy to not come under pressure from Isaac. So possible thinking probably going off in the Williams camp. Keep an eye on that as we head back to the battle for the race lead. 6/10 coming out of turn 12 for Delta.
I think GXD is going to be able to do it this time, because last time Delta did have a little bit of a wobble coming out of that last turn.
Yeah, he's gone defensive to the inside. So a bit of contact again, but no damage on either car. So again, GXD lives to fight another day out of turn 14. But what's it going to be like as we head down towards turn 1?
Here we come.
GXD trying to break the... Ooh! The question is, how late is a late move? Because it's getting really feisty. Oh no! Delta's back ends give up the fight, and I believe that will also be the icing on the cake for the scrap for the race win.
That's a real shame.
That is a shame, because it was such a absolute classic battle. They were both fighting that hard. It was pretty much reminiscent of the battles of like Hamilton and Verstappen, both drivers not giving each other a quarter, but sadly Delta's rear decided to give up on him at turn 2, and I believe this late in the race, I believe that is game, set and match for GXD.
Yeah, I mean, what he's got to be worried about now, I know Armar's going to be out of the equation, but 3 second gap, he's got about 5-6 seconds to Josh Boy.
Yeah, so yeah, Josh Boy ahead of Connor, so I wonder if the Williams did swap places.
There's a possibility here Josh Boy could still be on for a podium if he can.
If he can.
Tyres on him.
He's got to close that gap down as we're heading on to the penultimate lap. Lap 27 of 28 here with GXD, who I believe it's the first time this race has been able to have a breather, because throughout this race, GXD and Delta have been bit of a moment for GXD. I think he's fighting that rear of for these mediums. So these mediums starting to feel the pressure, because as I say, GXD and Delta, since making their final stops, were pretty much fighting each other tooth and nail. That I think both of them, I think both of them have took too much out of their tyres fighting each other, so they're having to pretty much nurse them now, because as we saw with Delta at turn 2, the back end overtaking the front, again the back end wanting to step out. So I think both Delta and GXD are having to take it very cautiously with their mediums now, because of how much they've took out of them with their battle. But the gap was 4 seconds after Delta had his moment. It's now down to 2.6, but I believe that will be enough for GXD to head on to this final lap and take it cautiously to the flag and take the win here tonight. Lego Lancer picks up 3 seconds whilst in his battle with Maverick as Armar dives into the pits. The higher tier getting out the way, doing an extra stop, which releases Josh Boy up into 3rd, Connor into 4th and Isaac into 5th. The gap now is 1.6, so Delta's not given up yet.
That's a lot to do in 1 lap though.
Yeah, it's 1.5.
Oh.
GTS 10 seconds speeding in the pit lane. But we'll keep an eye on Delta and GXD on this final lap. It is 1.3. But yeah, GXD really taking it cautiously. It's now below a second. So despite having that moment, it is almost getting on. But again, Delta taking it cautiously there. He's just lost 4 tenths. So both of them are having to be careful with these tyres, which will be enough for GXD. He's got 1.3 on heading onto this back straight. So it's looking to be a win for GXD and Alpine as we head around turn 14 and 15. And he takes turn 16 for the very last time as GXD, after a titanic battle with Delta, will take the win. Delta takes 2nd, getting the gap down to 9 tenths. Josh Boy will be 3rd for Williams. It is a 3rd and 5th for Williams, so a big haul of points for Williams in the Constructors. With Isaac splitting the 2 Williams drivers, we'll have Smoggy Ghost coming home in 6th place, and then it's Scuderia Ferrari as actually Armar goes into the pits because he is so sporting. He'll go into the pits and hopefully other people will overtake as he goes into the pits. So that gives Owen J a position, who then loses it to Maverick. So Maverick gets P8, Owen P9. Armar is sitting in the pits because he's letting the lower tiers come through, as Nels will get P10, Blurred Magic P11, Lego Lancer P12 for McLaren GTS in the Haas 13th, as Armar finally takes the flag in 13th with the penalties. Fire J 16th, so we're just waiting on Airways now to be the last one across the line. These results will be provisional, barring stewards' inquiries. So it's still not over yet. We've still got the dreaded stewards if anything gets put in, as we wait for Airways to take the flag and end this round of the championship. So that is the end of round 5 for tier 4. We only had 1 retirement of Abu, so we started with 18 drivers and finished with 17. So Abu, the only retirement from this race.
And no safety car.
And yeah, no safety car. You made a valid point there. So that's, I believe, Tier 2 and Tier 4 with bragging rights this week so far, with no safety cars during the race. We had a few in Tier 1, because I believe you told me before we went live that you brought one of them out, so shame on you.
Absolutely.
And I believe we had a few safety cars in Tier 3. So at the moment it is bragging rights for Tier 2 and Tier 4 as the cleanest tiers this week. So we have race winner GXD, Armar fastest lap, Driver of the day for the game is Maverick. Armar also got most overtakes, and cleanest driver was Smoggy Ghost. So these are the provisional orders. GXD with the win, Delta second, Josh Boy third is your top three. Then it is Isaac, Connor, Smoggy Ghost, Lil, Maverick, Owen, Nels, Blurred Magic, Lego Lancer, Armar, Man, GTS, Fire J, Airways the last runner in a 17th, and Abu the only retirement from the Grand Prix in 18th. That had fireworks galore, especially thanks to GXD and Delta with their titanic fight throughout that race. So I'd just like to say thank you for putting a show on for us with that titanic battle, giving us something to give a soundtrack to.
Drivers of the day is the pair of them, I think.
Yeah, I think for their battle throughout the race, I think I'll give both GXD and Delta a tip of the cap, and also the drives of the day, because that battle was anything but absolute class. I mean, yes, there was a bit of contact here and there, but it was all games, fun, love and war at the end of it, and it looked like it was swinging towards Delta with the 3 seconds for GXD, but then Delta picked up 3 seconds, and then it went to a level playing field, and then we thought we could have got fireworks on the last lap after Delta dragged a 4-second gap back down to about a second, but both of them were fighting each other that hard in that last stint that both of them took heaps out of their tyres. So by the end of it, they were both taking it as cautiously as they can to get to the end of the race. So yeah, big shout to Smoggy Ghost though, having a nice tidy race for Aston Martin, and again Williams showing why they are the class of Tier 4 at the moment, with a third and fifth tonight, with Josh Boy, despite being on pole, finishing third, and Connor bringing his half of the garage home in P5. So Williams looking the ones to be in the constructors. So yeah, thank you for being alongside me tonight here, Steve, for what could have and probably was a classic between GXD and Delta.
Yeah, it was a cracking battle between the pair of them. Clean, like I say, a couple of little nudges here and there, but nothing major.
Yeah.
And yeah, great to watch. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, this might be it for Wednesday night, but we do have one more race coming up tomorrow. It is Tier 0. It is our tier for our drivers in MRC that want to race with absolutely nothing at all turned on. And they'll be going lights. They'll be getting their session underway at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So we have one more race to do at Shanghai before we head to round 6, which will be under the floodlights, under the stars of Singapore. So we're heading to the streets of Singapore for round 6 next week. So again, thank you, Steve, for being on comms with me tonight, and that is it from myself as well. And stay tuned for when MRC goes live tomorrow at 7 o'clock for Tier 0. Good night.
Good night all.